This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What is going on, everybody? Guys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I'm one of the hosts of this show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter at Michael5Ritter and also on Instagram, MichaelRitter5, but also one of the hosts of the Football Function Podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms. And also, just a little quick plug here for the Football Function Podcast, Double J.
Shout out.
Fan here, patron of the WWE Podcast, has joined the Football Function team. He is now he's the correspondent for the XFL, the new spring league. As you guys are well aware of, The Rock is the commissioner, I believe. I'm not really sure if he's the commissioner. He's definitely heavily involved. He bought it from Vince McMahon.
He did.
But don't let me give you false information. Go to Double J. We got an episode out right now where he gives you the history and 3 reasons why you should watch the XFL this spring. So shout out to Double J for jumping aboard. Big things coming here in 2023 for the Football Function Podcast. However, joining me here on the SmackDown Review, the Go Home Show for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Montreal, my humble co-host, John Carrasco, and you can find him on Twitter at Big Speaker. That's sorry. It does look like an A, but it's an at Big Speaker, BIGG _speaker. So, John, this was a very, wild episode, wild open to the show here, kind of to, suit it appropriately. But how you doing, bud? Long week, not over for us. We got to work tomorrow, but we're here. We're ready to rock, covering the SmackDown. How you doing?
Well, not too bad, man. Of course, here, ready to rock this show out, I guess, for everybody. But, shout out to Double J, man. I already started tuning into it. I told you I was airing everything. And I am, I wouldn't say I'm too interested in the XFL, but I have always been curious about it, Haven't always followed it because, it always seems to fall off, I guess you can say. But, it seems like it might be in some good hands right now with The Rock, I guess you could say. So,
yeah. It's never had a correspondent like Double J yet either. So.
I'm definitely going to tune in. I want to say it's this weekend?
I think it is. I think this is the weekend, so it's appropriate that, he jumped on board right now to get us up to speed right in time.
Yeah, so, of course, like you were saying, we do have a little bit of work. We might, I think we'll be off in time.
Dude, it's going to be an easy day.
Yeah, so
The Chamber?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You're talking about Chamber or the XFL?
Chamber.
We will 100% be off to watch the Chamber.
Yeah. Just double checking on that. Maybe missed a little bit of
We'll
XFL,
be off in time to take a nap before the Chamber.
Oh, my gosh. See, that sounds good to me. But, I probably won't end up doing that. Might, just ride the day out. But, yeah, man. of course, we're here, ready to knock this thing out. And, yeah, see what this Go Home show is about, I guess you could say.
Yep, here to knock out the review for the SmackDown that aired on February 17th, 2023 from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And, I'll say the show flew by, which, that's sometimes the case there. But I felt like I was entertained thoroughly throughout this episode. Like, for whatever reason, it felt like a high-stakes show. It felt like a go-home show, you knew some big things were coming. They were already in the arena, seeing that Chamber up top. Anytime they did an aerial view, just kind of reminded you, hey, 24 hours from now, we got some pretty big things in store. So it just kind of had that big show feel to it. And that, made me appreciate it. However, I will say, I've crapped on Raw a lot, over the past couple months or whatever. I've tuned into the past 2. Hell of a show. I don't know if it's just because, WrestleMania season, post-Royal Rumble, they got my guy Cody Rhodes over there cutting A-plus promos on a weekly basis. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or if it's just all in all a better show now. I'm just going to go ahead and give it its credit. That's one thing. If we're going to criticize it whenever SmackDown is clearly better, then we have to for sure give it praise whenever I feel like Raw is, holding up its end of the bargain to give us WWE fans a nice bookend of A-plus wrestling shows. And I felt like this one, the end of the week, did that same thing. You know, it started off Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey versus Natty and Shotzi Blackheart, which is, you know, still what I sometimes call her accidentally. Did you ever know her as that or just Shotzi?
More of just Shotzi.
But are you familiar with her name?
With
Okay.
the Blackheart, yes, sir.
She's one of probably 30 people who got their first or last name just completely chopped off or switched altogether. But
Well, I mean, it fits. I mean, I feel like it's more of a
I'm a
like
fan of
easier
Shotzi.
to roll off. I
Yeah,
guess
when
you
she
could
was
say, you know?
headbanging at the beginning, you know, she
yeah.
climbed into the ring. She was on the turnbuckle. She did it like when she did it a couple times. I was like, oh, nice. When she went it like fourth and the fifth time, I was like, oh, you're just rocking out here. Okay, I like it.
yeah.
You know, so
I like the little energy she brings whenever she's on the what is it, TCB?
the TCB
Taking care of business.
taking care of business. I'm glad you had that on the tip of your tongue because I thought I did, but I was probably going to say something completely off and was not going to be accurate. So yeah, taking care of business, Tank.
Definitely her rolling down on that little thing, man. I mean, it's different, you know. So you see like somebody, a grown up, basically having fun on a little machine, I guess you could say. Kind of reminds me of like one of those little type cars you used to get,
Yeah.
you know, as a kid, I guess you could say, you know. So yeah, I mean, she's definitely getting something behind her, I guess you could say, and you can tell, you know, in this match with the crowd and everything. But yeah, go ahead, finish.
So
it.
yay or nay, is it time to drop the baddest woman on the planet shtick for Ronda Rousey?
Did you hear those boos?
I heard the "you can't wrestle" chants immediately when she got into the ring with Natty. I was like, oh, she hadn't even done a move yet.
Yeah, you need to take that thing off. Even I don't even know if this was maybe me just looking into it. Even Shayna Baszler kind of looked away whenever that was announced. You know, I was like, okay, a little shot, you know, something you kind of go back to. But other than that, yeah, she can drop that.
I was just curious your opinion on that whole thing. But, you know,
I mean,
they come out.
You know the opinion on her all around.
I know. Sometimes I just need you to remind me, though. But anyways, this match, it went probably how you would expect. Once I realized that's who, because I didn't know. I didn't see any. I don't follow WWE on Twitter for spoiler reasons. You know, I don't want to be spoiled. There are times where I can't watch SmackDown, or at least back in the day, where I couldn't watch SmackDown live or Raw, and I didn't want to be spoiled or anything like that. Now, it's whatever, you know, but I still didn't go out of my way to look what was on the show tonight. I didn't see anything, any previews. They might have even highlighted it last week, and I might not have noticed. But whenever I saw that the team of Shotzi and Natty were opening the show, before it announced who they were going up against, I was like, nice. You know, I get to see these two go at it. Who are they going to team or go up against? Kind of questionable. It started to kind of, well, once you piece the puzzle together, you realize, well, the only logical team would be Shayna and Ronda, and eventually that's who ends up coming out. Once I put the pieces together and I realized that's who they were going against, my confidence for them winning went completely out the door. You could call it just the sheer belief in the dominant tag team that is Ronda and Shayna, because together, whenever you pair them up, they are damn near unstoppable. I just don't think that Natty is I don't know. You know, I went on a whole thing saying how I want her to have, you know, a nice respectable run before she hangs it up in the women's division. But she doesn't really move the needle anymore, you know? Like whenever you see her in a match with some stake, you don't really think, hey, she's going to win. I know she's in the chamber tomorrow. She could prove us all wrong and win that bad boy. But I don't know. And this is coming from a massive Natty fan. I literally have a two-paws shirt in my drawer downstairs. And I have a picture with Natty. I will never post it because her eyes are kind of messed up. I should have gave her my phone, man. That's one thing. If you're going to take a picture with a famous wrestler, unless you're A1, I got this. I take selfies all the time. You know, I can get it. Mm-hmm. Me personally, if you give me 10 chances, I'm going to probably take 6 absolutely crappy pictures. And it just so happened that my one opportunity to get a picture with Natty, I dropped the ball. And not only that, but like it was like a 6-woman tag match, or maybe even 8-woman tag match, if I'm not mistaken. Here it was a live event. That's when they, you know, interact with the fans a little bit more. Mm-hmm. There was 3 women. I think it might have been Charlotte, Naomi, and I don't know who that other one was. Maybe it just was a 6-woman tag match. And it was just Charlotte and Naomi and Natty versus 3 other women. But as we were taking the selfie, the people who were around me were telling me how all 3 of the other women on the apron were literally just looking down, watching. And just knowing that for a brief second in time, I had the attention of probably about 3 WWE women's wrestlers, possibly 4 as well. I mean, I was on the Tron over there, so some of my other friends who were there in attendance were like, dude, that was freaking awesome.
Nice, thank you.
It was pretty cool, a pretty cool moment. So hey, that all leads me back to saying, Natty is on my A1. She's close to my heart. Those. It's not just fandom, It goes beyond that. I feel like, I could go to the, obviously not go to the dungeon, but, I could maybe go to, a Hart family reunion and, maybe shoot the stuff with Tyson Kidd, maybe, tell Bret Hart, got his action figure up there, but hey, man, take it easy on old Goldberg, huh? Give him a little bit of a break. No, not really say that. But either way, I love just that whole Hart legacy. So the fact that Natty's always been kind of one of my favorites, I do want her to have success. But just it leads me back to my original point. It doesn't take away from the fact that in 2023, with Becky on the roster, with Bayley, with Raquel, Rhea, Bianca Belair, Charlotte, even the 2 women in that match with Shayna and Ronda Rousey, like, if you have to legitimately rank in terms of in-ring believability and who you would buy into, you're going to name a lot of women before Natty's name actually comes up, just in terms of being pushed. She's not a spring chicken. She's been around longer than any of them. That's why she has all the records that she has. All of that stuff has to be factored into the equation here. And I'm just calling it is what it is. She's a Hall of Famer without a doubt. So I just, I want to see her have another run, but it doesn't take away from the fact that right now there's bigger fish in this pond.
See, I mean, just hearing all that, I mean, of course, you probably got a better perspective on Natty as a whole, but as being like the newer fan, I guess you could say, and kind of still seeing her in this time of day, I felt like she was like the spark to this match,
Okay,
I kind of felt like, she was back there, whenever she was the off tag team, I guess you could say, standing behind the rope, she was getting the crowd going, getting some Shotzi clamps going.
I mean, she is Canadian.
Like yeah, of course. Maybe, I mean, the crowd being behind her is a little
kind of goes under the radar.
I guess you could say, yeah. I mean, but I don't know. I felt like that was, of course, her being there was the person to look at, I guess, in this. I mean, of course, they were chanting Shotzi a lot. I mean, I felt like that was pretty good, too.
I love that.
I do feel like Natty was the spark to this match throughout the whole thing. But other than that, whenever she got Ronda into that sharpshooter,
yes,
dude, I thought it was going to be done right there. Like, finally, she got a
when
win
she
over
drug her to the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought she was going to tap right there. I was like, gosh dang, and then they had to ruin. I thought it was a good match. From start to finish until kind of like the end. Whenever they just rubbed all that away and give Ronda the win.
Yeah, when she made Shotzi tap, which has happened so many times. Now that I actually think about it. Too many times, if you ask me. I'm a believer in Shotzi as well. So that's why my initial excitement when I saw these two teaming up, that's why it was there in the first place. However, let's go ahead and move on to something else here. We got a pretty long video package. Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. It was basically the timeline showing, the initial knock on the door. Paul Heyman saying, hey, someone would like to speak with you, Roman. It was Sami Zayn. The pitch and the long game that we had to go through just to actually get Sami Zayn, his foot in the door and all that, and kind of just reminded you the ride that we've been on. And I just thought it was a well put together video package. You'll likely see it again tomorrow, maybe even an extended version for the pre-show, the kickoff show, and likely right before the match happens, you'll see a pretty good video package to get you ready for this one, because this main event is probably going to be through the roof. But definitely had to mention that video package. If you haven't already seen it, go check it out. I think there might be one on WWE's YouTube. That's like 9 minutes or something like that. It's very long, very detailed. And if their YouTube team is anything like just their video package team, I'm sure it is a lot of the same people, then I imagine this is some A1 content. So definitely go check that out. Speaking of A1 content, according to John, Hit Row at a concert.
Don't even start.
But it was interrupted by Bray Wyatt and, quote unquote, possibly Uncle Howdy. We don't know for sure. It's not confirmed nor denied. He hasn't come out and said that's who he is, so we're going with it right now. We're saying it's Uncle Howdy. Who is underneath the mask? Who is Uncle Howdy? Who hit the Sister Abigail on, who was it?
Shanti.
Yes, okay, for sure. It wasn't Shanti. Who was it?
Is it a Shanti or a Shantae?
I mean, I imagine
Just
Ashanti.
curious. I mean,
if I were to guess,
Yeah,
probably
if I'm
Ashanti.
butchering it, I'm sorry if there's
Because
any
if it's
fans out there.
Ashanti, then, Ashanti might be coming for some copyrights.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I don't want to be butchering it or anything like that. I say Ashanti. I mean, of course, with a little bit more English at the end of it,
Ashanti,
but,
yeah.
But yeah, other than that,
Not like
just
Ashanti
curious.
and Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you for sure. But, Sister Abigail, Mandible Claw. That's all she wrote. And then Bray Wyatt has the nerve. He has the audacity to say the winner out of the Lesnar and Lashley match, run. Mm-hmm. Well, number one, why? Why did he do this? What's his beef with those two dudes, number one? Number two, this is going to cause a brand versus brand match. And if that is the case, we're for sure going for Bray Wyatt on this show because we will refuse to go for the Raw guy. And number three, sorry, I already said number two. Number three, both avenues are exciting, but it's hard not to lean towards the Brock Lesnar possibilities of seeing this version of Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar. Brock hasn't gone against something like this. I mean, kind of sort of the Undertaker with their rivalry they had, but at this point in his career, whenever he's Cowboy Brock, whenever he's a babyface, he's not young beast Brock Lesnar who's fearless. This Brock Lesnar is probably fearless too, don't get me wrong. But this Brock Lesnar is more human. He's more relatable than any other version of Brock that I've seen in the past. So I guess that's what gets me intrigued about this. I don't want to get ahead of myself and completely overlook the match that we're going to see tomorrow, but just knowing who's waiting for the winner, without a doubt, he's going to show up. He's probably going. I mean, after the match is over, we're going to see some flickering. We're going to see something, and it's probably going to remind you, or at least remind me of. I mention this all the time. Undertaker and Kane, whenever he buried Kane, that is Undertaker alive, and once the Undertaker came back, his hair grew out a little bit. He went back to the dead man, leaving the American Badass gimmick. He started to have these little vignettes, these little Jumbotron lights go out, teasing Kane. And then eventually we got the WrestleMania match, which to this day, man, chef's kiss. Brilliant wrestling promotion, man. Eric Bischoff, whoever the hell was involved with that back then, I want to shake your hand, man. That's definitely what I want to do. But anyways, let's continue on here. We got another thing to talk about. And it's Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Viking Raiders here in a tag team match. There were several times where I legitimately thought the Viking Raiders were going to win this match just because it almost seemed too obvious that Drew and Sheamus were going to win. I feel like just in a nutshell, in a vacuum, if you look at these two teams, even though one of them is a genuine tag team and the other one is kind of two single stars thrown together, you still feel like Drew and Sheamus are the better group. So by default, I just expect them to win. And because of that, I thought, well, eventually we're going to get swerved. They're not just going to keep doing what we expect. And I thought that this might be the night that the Viking Raiders walk away with the win, but that did not end up being the case because they ended up going to Claymore County. Mm-hmm. You know who's the mayor there, right? Drew McIntyre. And this town wasn't big enough for both teams, we'll just say that.
Oh, man. Yeah, I thought it was a good physical match, man. I can't really complain about this at all. Besides the only thing that I can nitpick on this is the 10 Brutes of the Baron.
Something like that.
Yeah, but whenever like somebody else does it with Sheamus, it kind of like throws away like the whole specialness to it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, the people that he's doing it on are probably like, yeah, we should only have one person do it for sure.
And then, I don't even know who mentioned it, Michael Cole or Wade, but they said that Sheamus should rebrand it to 20 Brutes, or, because how many times they go over 10 type stuff. And
they might as well, yeah.
At that,
Let's go up to 15.
Yeah, but that was kind of funny. But other than that, man, I mean, I'm happy to see that the Viking Raiders can actually like go the distance and kind of take this type of beating in a way, and at least handle their business, I guess. But like you said, I do feel like the Viking Raiders had the chance to win, but yeah, Drew and Sheamus matched up against them. Of course, I thought that's where they were going to win.
They're like, and I don't want this to come off as like an insult to anybody because I'm not meaning it like that, but they're like the guy version of Ronda and Shayna.
Oh, yeah, I can kind of see that. I mean, it's kind of funny whenever like they're introduced and they are always saying that they're going against each other type stuff, you know. So yeah, I mean, the pairing between them, I mean, I don't feel like it gels as much as like Shayna and Ronda, I guess you could say, because of course Ronda approached Shayna was like, let me know whenever you're ready to go back to breaking bones or some type of stuff like that, you know. But other than that, I mean, I don't know, man. It's hard to see Drew and Sheamus as a tag team. Let me say that. Not saying that they don't put on good stuff, but it's hard to see those two guys tag teamed up.
Okay. Well, up next, we get a backstage segment. Rey Mysterio has a backstage interview with Caleb Braxton, which is interrupted because the interview itself was about the WWE exclusive video about Santos Escobar and them exchanging their Lucha Libre masks.
Did you happen to see the little... it was just a picture that Dominic Mysterio put over that on Twitter.
No, I didn't.
Oh, dude.
What was it?
I mean, it's just a little picture showing, like, oh, okay, type stuff, you know, like being a little petty, I guess you could say. Yeah, you should go check that out. But anybody should go check that out because there's some funny stuff in my opinion. But I think this is kind of great, you know. I mean, not to cut you off or anything.
Oh, feel free.
But it kind of gives Dominic Mysterio that little push to come, you know, keep beating up on his dad. And then, I mean, here we have Karrion Kross, which you're about to get to, is that other pushing factor on this side.
Give Dominic that push to kind of finally crack the top 30 on the active roster?
Dang.
Or what?
To come and keep pushing at his dad.
I got you for sure. Okay. Maybe, you know, get that rivalry brewing up a little bit for sure. But,
oh, man.
All right. Let's see.
Totally threw me off right there.
Karrion Kross, he throws this interview off whenever he approaches with Scarlett. And, you know, Rey Mysterio, he's just trying to have a good time, you know, trying to appreciate his legacy and, you know, what he means to all the lucha wrestlers coming up and just generations beneath him and who came after him. And Karrion Kross just basically comes up and says, dude, you're a pathetic excuse of a man. You hide behind a mask. You're a terrible father, yada, yada, yada. And I don't know. He basically told him to do something about it. I don't really know. Karrion Kross, is he the number one ranked bully on the roster right now? I mean, he might be. When is he ever not bullying somebody?
I don't know. It kind of seems like he's a motivational bully. Like, you got a certain time or I'm going to do something type stuff, you know? So I'm kind of just like...
He's one of those dudes who approaches you in the gym and is like, you know, like, he is trying to see your results. He's trying to see you get better. And if you don't, you're going to hear about it. You know, in this case, he might actually hurt you just from him. But I will say, I mean... Is he ever just, you know, in catering, just, hey, how you doing? Oh, I had a great day. You know, drove through traffic. It wasn't too bad. No stoplights on the way here. Been sleeping great at night. Switched my diet up a little bit. Or is it all just, I'm going to break your face. Talking about, like, I'm going to kill you type stuff. You know, it's essentially what I've got with Karrion Kross. Like, dude, did you ever flip the switch? Like, you're so dark all the time. Just lighten up a little bit. And, you know, just you can still be a heel. You can still be a very... destructive person. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see, but maybe it's just his thing. You know, he's just that far into his character that, you know, there really is no turning back. Liv Morgan versus Asuka. Both of these women are in the Elimination Chamber tomorrow night. Carmella, who's also in that match, she was on commentary, and then we eventually get interference, or I guess Natty, Raquel, Nikki, they all come out. Raquel and Nikki are kind of around ringside. Natty's just kind of sitting there or around the commentary table. Natty comes out and she's just like at ringside. What the hell was the point of this? Like, why did you bring everybody out? Are you trying to, like, I truly didn't understand. Was it to have that somewhat brawl after the match where Raquel takes a shot because Liv Morgan hits her with the whatever knee thing and then she gets an Asuka kick to the face? I didn't really understand the point of bringing him out there. I thought it might have taken away from what could have been a phenomenal match from Asuka and Liv, and yeah, that's what we got. But how did this match end?
Well, basically, Asuka, she gets the Asuka lock on Liv, and, you know, there goes a little tap right there. So,
I mean, submission.
Can't really say that I was too proud of this. I know you texted me a little
smart
tweet, I guess you could say, on my... And it was a little shot, I guess you could say. And like I said, I mean, we had to give Asuka her flowers tonight. give her a little pop. Because tomorrow, Liv is going to walk out that thing.
Okay.
There goes my spoiler.
All right. Well, you no need to stick around for the women's Elimination Chamber match because John done gave you a little bit of a treat early.
I'm walking out.
Up next, we get the Intercontinental Championship match between Gunther and Madcap Moss. What'd you think about this? Did you think that Madcap rose to the occasion? Do you think he, did well against this opponent?
Well, at the beginning, of course, Madcap, he comes out with all this explosiveness and stuff like that. The one thing that I did or actually two things, whenever he did like that tackle, I guess you could say, at the very beginning, that was freaking just swiped him off his feet type stuff. So that was pretty interesting to me, just giving like Gunther is a big old guy.
Yeah, he's pretty massive.
Sorry about that, yep. And also, man, that freaking spine buster that Madcap did on him too was pretty nice. Just, I don't know, man. Just the way that he goes about doing his moves, it seems like everything's pretty fast and everything fluid. But other than that, wasn't too. Of course, we knew Gunther was going to get the win, but Madcap always been high on my list type guy, but wasn't too happy with the outcome, I guess you could say. But like I said, we all know the route that this was going, and of course, who's Gunther looking towards next, I guess you could say.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about, like, because they haven't really gave us anything type stuff, so I'm kind of just like, where do we go from here?
Yep. I think that he is, he's going to hold on to that belt, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. What did you say, 250 days?
How many days? I don't know.
That's good. For the time being, it doesn't even seem like it's been that long, and then, of course, he's doing phenomenal just holding this thing, so can't really complain about it.
Yeah, days fly by when you've been depressed for 6 years.
Dang. Well, glad he was the almost winner in the Royal Rumble. That was a good time, huh?
Yeah, well,
Dang, not too depressing.
Silver medals don't count, all right. But anyways.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's go ahead and roll on here.
Some gold, man.
He gets the win, obviously, with that massive powerbomb, retains his championship. We didn't really expect anything else as far as the outcome. That's why I asked you initially, did Madcap impress? Because that's what you judge. Mm-hmm. We know he's not going to win. It's how did he fare? How did he stack up? How did he look up against a caliber of opponent like Gunther? So it's really all that we need to focus on.
I was going to say, man, another thing, just going against Gunther, man, in my opinion, if I was to be matching up with a guy, I would strategically wear a shirt against that guy.
I would wear a bulletproof vest against that guy.
Just saying, because
I'm in the Shield tonight, bud.
I was like, gosh, dang, dude. Like, every time, like, it seems like he leaves, like, at least some type of imprint on everybody's chest, Of course, you're getting that bear,
I'm going Rhea Ripley style with my vest with some spikes on it.
Dang.
You're going to chop me. You're going to get poked a little bit, bud, all right?
I'm just saying, if I was a wrestler going up against him, I would at least wear some type of protective gear to at least keep those chops from welting my body, I guess. But other than that, yeah, good match.
Yeah, good match. But the main event here, we all expected a massive Sami Zayn pop. Did your TV mess up?
Oh, yeah, like where it was like cutting out?
Yes.
Man, it messed up right whenever he started talking.
Right when he started talking, and it messed up right when his music hit and the pop happened. For me, anyway.
Coming out?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, my. Mm-hmm. It really made me want to flip my TV dinner tray over and knock over my fish sticks. But I didn't, all right?
Oh, man.
So I just, relaxed a little bit, let the TV kind of catch up. And I thought that we were going to get more from Sami Zayn. He let that crowd feel it. Mm-hmm. They were doing their ole chants and also getting the, what's it called? The Sammy, you deserve it. You name it. They were chanting for a minute. He deserved this. So he genuinely did. He even mentioned it tomorrow night. They talk about the WrestleMania sign and how that's what it's all about in this industry. Mm-hmm. But the match that Sammy's going to get tomorrow in his hometown for this championship against this hot of an opponent on this hot streak that he's on, this is once in a lifetime. Yep. He'll never be able to recreate this moment. Win, lose, draw, this will never happen again for him. He's in the middle of a phenomenal story. He's going to look back on this and think, man, that was such a great time in my life. He's in it right now. And sometimes it's hard as a human to sit back and smell the roses, to think, damn, we might be in, a pretty good moment. Like Andy Bernard says whenever The Office closes on the very final episode, spoiler alert, he says, don't you wish there was a way for us to know I wish that we could know we were in the good old days before we actually left them. When he says that, and I feel like Sami Zayn is in the good old days right now. Mm-hmm. Whenever he looks back on this run, it's going to be virtually unmatched, and who knows what the future holds for him. But, he basically said, Roman Reigns, you're going down. That's pretty much all he said. He said some stuff in French, which I didn't understand. So I'm sure that maybe Alex, the French guy, can come in here, chime in, and maybe let us know what was said, or somebody else who maybe can translate for us. But some good stuff for sure. Sami Zayn, he didn't really need an A1 promo here. Whenever you have that type of emotion, that type of, energy from the crowd, you don't need to get them amped up and invested. They're already invested. Mm-hmm. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what this pay-per-view is going to bring, and that's why I'm ready to predict it. But before we do that, what do you think about this main event segment with Sami Zayn?
Well, like you said, man, it had little technical difficulties, and it kind of threw off the whole vibe of it, I guess you could say, for me. But just hearing that crowd, man, of course, like seeing his emotion, that little tear coming down his eye type stuff, like you said, I'm guaranteed, like, right there in that moment, he's like double thinking, oh, okay, this is that time of my life where, the crowds or the fans, appreciated me the most type stuff. So I kind of felt like him allowing the crowd to do that was just like that. He was taking it all in at that moment, because, you're going to get the crowd again tomorrow, but at this time you're basically getting the most pure chance for just you at this moment. It's just you hit him, center of attention type stuff, and he deserves it. I kind of felt like, Kevin Owens is like always alluded to this as him being in that position, and then him actually being there type stuff. But other than that, man, I feel like once this all is all done and over with, I guess you could say, I don't want Sami to be just looked over after this, No, I kind of want him to be in that position where Cody Rhodes is. And, we've talked about this last week and everything, about how I feel about how Cody just kind of walked in, kind of just made his way. But I think at this point, you got to give the person that has actually, that whole 9 months of just working, I guess you could say working, putting time, effort, and stuff like that. I think the bigger bouquet kind of goes to Sami.
Have you not seen that video package?
Yes, I have seen. I can't even. But, oh, man. But, I don't know, man. I feel like even, like you said, watching Raw, that little segment that him or Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes have or had, I felt like Cody Rhodes was actually saying that Sami Zayn was over him at this point in a small sense, just listening to it. Then, my opinion,
may need to go back and re-listen to that myself.
My opinion.
Yes.
Of course, you have Cody Rhodes standing up front and center in this room, so you might have a different opinion on that, but that's just my take, I guess.
Something Cody Rhodes. For sure.
Oh, that freaking sign was so funny, bro. I swear you got to go back and see it, because that's exactly what it says. Something Cody Rhodes.
It's brilliant. I'm sure that there are some people out there that know exactly what we're talking about. Oh, yeah. I would have talked about this a little bit earlier if I would have remembered. But, hey, I guess we're in between the SmackDown review and the predictions portion of the show. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you might have seen Matt's tweet about some doofus saying that we're morons.
Oh, yeah.
Or something along that lines. Well, hey, that's funny. That's hilarious.
At least he listened. All right.
But, hey, number one, you know the mailbag, right? You know the number. It's very easy to find. You can put your opinion out there, so to speak. Don't hide behind the review. Why don't you put your voice out there? Why are we morons? Elaborate a little bit, because I'll be the first person to tell you that sometimes we get a little off the rails here on the SmackDown review. But,
Oh, man.
I'll also be the first to tell you that, we're not going to, I guess, take anything from some jabroni Mark, so to
Nice.
speak. But anyways, I just want to go ahead and approach that real quickly. And if you're calling the team here at the WWE podcast morons, you better go take a hike. All right, number one, because we got some very good members of this team here, I will say. And we don't have to go down the list, but just know that you come for the team, you better not miss. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this card. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Don't really know who's going to win this match. It's hard to pick a winner, to be completely honest, because it's truly 50-50. Like, I don't really know the route here that you can go. And I guess if I were to pick, if you were just throwing me out there, give me Brock Lesnar because of the Bray Wyatt trickling effect that's going to happen after this. I already told you who I want to see. Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt leading into WrestleMania. There's only one way to get there. Brock has to win this match. I'm picking it.
See, on this, man, I was on the opposite side. Before finding out all this tonight, I thought Bobby Lashley was going to be the one getting the win over Brock. But now that this has something to do with it, the whole Bray Wyatt thing, I don't really see much of a connection between Bray and Bobby, I guess you could say, in a gimmick way, So, yeah, that totally changed my whole thought on it, perspective on it. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to ride with Brock winning this one just because of that.
So we're with each other right there, lockstep. Let's move on. Edge and Beth versus Finn and Rhea. I'm going with Edge and Beth. I just don't really think that, yes, Judgment Day is, a pretty dominant group right now. Rhea's going on to bigger and better things no matter what happens here. She doesn't even have to take the pin to lose this match, or she could just take a pin to Beth Phoenix depending on what happens, and it really won't matter either way, but I just feel like they want to give Edge and Beth this win so they can have it, just so they can say that they did it. They got that win. They could tell their kids. They could just remember it on a documentary 5 years down the line. I just have a feeling that Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to win this match.
And I'm going to agree with you on this one. I kind of feel like, man, I forgot. Do you remember when Edge's last match is going to be?
His last match?
Yeah.
Don't.
It wasn't. They had said it or whatever. What pay-per-view it was going to be? PLE, my bad. But I think it's just going to be, or of course they're going to win, but there's going to be that feud to take them on to whatever SummerSlam. Man, I forgot what it was, but something's going to have to happen to where Edge takes out Judgment Day. Let me just say that.
Like 1 by 1 type stuff?
No, well, of course not 1 by 1, but as a group, just taking them down.
Okay. Okay. See, I like that vigilante 1 by 1 type stuff.
Okay. See, I kind of see maybe that just because Damian Priest is involved in this Elimination Chamber, maybe he can start branching out, because he's being called out on
Twitter for calling it the Money in the Bank?
Dang, well, yeah, he definitely screwed that up. But I'm saying whenever Damian Priest said that they didn't need a leader anymore and he took out Edge and then now he follows Finn,
Yeah.
maybe that was that little nugget to get Damian Priest
Yeah, the lackeys.
out the door.
Okay, well, we'll see.
It's cracks, type stuff, bloodline.
So you got Edge and Beth too?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and move on. Elimination Chamber match. This one's for a championship.
Okay.
United States title on the line, which means Austin Theory has to be in it. Defending it against the likes of Seth Rollins, Montez Ford, the previously mentioned Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and Bronson Reed. Eliminate Bronson Reed. Gargano's going to have a phenomenal run. Triple H is going to make him look like $1 million. He's going to probably start it off. He'll probably be him and Montez Ford starting the match off. If I were to guess, you want the pop of Seth Rollins. You want to keep the champion Austin Theory protected. You want the pop of Damian Priest, who can go in there and just be the heavy. And obviously Bronson Reed, you don't want him in there for the entirety of a match, but you want him to, come out and raise some hell whenever he does come out. It just makes sense. So right here, you're hearing it here first, Montez Ford. And Johnny Gargano will start this Elimination Chamber match, but it doesn't matter because they're both going to lose. They're both going to get pinned, And the person who's going to win this match and waltz into WrestleMania as the United States champion, Austin Theory.
Oh my.
He's going to cheat. I'm not saying I want them to win, okay? But they want him to look strong. Mm-hmm. However, losing your championship in an Elimination Chamber doesn't make you look weak by any means. This is supposed to be Hell's structure. Just absolutely, well, Hell structure is technically Hell in a Cell. But you get what I'm trying to say. Structure from Hell, if I could just borrow the theme there. Either way, this is not for the weak at heart. This is brutal, man. You're going to get your body slammed on steel. Maybe not the same as it was back in the day, because the Chamber back then, man, I had the action figure version, and I absolutely loved it. But real life, it was just a thing of beauty. I could use the chef's kiss when I talk about a lot of stuff that involves the Ruthless Aggression era. But we'll go ahead and move on. But yeah, Austin Theory, man. Close second, Seth Rollins.
Man, I kind of want to just go against you because I'm still sitting on that same bus as you.
Go ahead, man. It's a good place to be.
I mean, Austin Theory, I'm going to roll with it too. I mean, I feel like he's in that little run that he needs to be in, I guess you could say, to kind of solidify himself as this young new champion, But other than that, if I was to second guess this, I would want it to go to Damian Priest in a way.
How come?
I don't know. I just felt like, well, whenever I started watching, of course, that's who I was introduced to as the United States champion, and just his whole gimmick, whenever he pulled the little arrow, he shot it, his little flame went around the top of the arena type stuff. I mean, it was cool. So I guess to kind of just a little bit of nostalgia there, I guess you could say, bring that back. That would be cool, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. It definitely would.
I'd probably just be going more of a favorite in this, I guess you could say, rather than a actual winner.
All right, well, this next one is a number one contendership. The winner of this gets a shot at the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Not just a Raw Women's Championship match, not just, on a Monday Night Raw or at Roadblock or something like that. This is for one of the main events, essentially, of one of the nights at WrestleMania. And the women who are in this match, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Nikki Cross, Raquel Rodriguez, Natalya, and Carmella. Now, if you just rewind a little bit, go back to like 16 minutes in the show, we already know who John thinks.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. You can go ahead and take this driver's seat.
Is going to win this, but this is where we disagree.
Okay.
We already know who both of us are behind. Both of us were behind in the Rumble when we were there in San Antonio, and that's who we're both behind in this Elimination Chamber match. I'm going with the Tejana bombshell, and that is Raquel Rodriguez. I think this is the time. She's built for this, man. She was built for a match like this. This is the Elimination Chamber. Asuka's going to give her hell. Carmella, she got the weakest super kick in the entire WWE right now. Her super kick and Sasha Banks' frog splash, if you were trying to create the worst wrestler and you had to give them a moveset, you would give them Carmella's super kick and Sasha's frog splash. And Big E's big ending. Yes, Big E's finishing move sucks. It's well known, all right? He needs a new one. I'm not sure if he switched it up or not. I hope he did, but man, either way, I already told you how I feel about Natalya. She will likely, be one of the first ones eliminated here, followed by Carmella, Nikki Cross. Then we'll see a nice showdown between Asuka, Liv, and Raquel, where I'm sorry, but Liv is likely going to leave, and then Raquel is going to just, do what she's got to do to Asuka. But Asuka, don't sleep on her as a dark horse here to win this thing. But nonetheless, it's going to be exciting, and I do think that Raquel is going to come out victorious. You still rolling with Liv, though, huh?
Still rolling with Liv. Of course, like I said, she's been on my list, even through the little, I don't even know what to call what she was going through. Felt like
she
Nikki
was losing and all that stuff.
Felt like Nikki Cross kind of outdid her on the Psycho thing. But just the way this went down. You know, Raquel, she went to go give Liv Morgan a handshake in the corner of the match after she lost and everything, right? Liv, she takes that hand up, but eventually turns on Raquel.
Which I thought was some baby back BS.
And then, like you said, she takes a freaking kick from Asuka and is out the match. See, that's how I see tomorrow ending with Asuka and Liv, but Liv winning.
Yeah, for sure.
So, bye-bye, Raquel.
All right, well, I guess we'll see what happens there. We can both agree on this next one, though.
Sorry to shoot your hopes down, though.
Undisputed WWE Universal Championship between Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Any shot Sami Zayn surprises the world and takes the championship off of Roman.
Nope.
No way in hell? Vince McMahon theme song, no chance in hell?
No chance in hell. I mean, sorry to say it, but I do believe that we are going to say or actually see the true split in the bloodline being Jay sides with Sammy. That's what I kind of see, you know, just on the side view. Of course, they have to kind of further this storyline in some type of way, but yeah, I don't see Sammy winning. No chance in hell.
I don't believe so either. As much as I would like to, I don't think it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. They're going to
True.
somehow allow Sami Zayn to sneak into WrestleMania, I think. Now, I don't know what that route looks like, but I know what the aspects of including Sami Zayn in that main event would bring. And it's a lot of dollar signs, a lot of eyeballs, and a lot of happy fans. And that just seems like something right up WWE's alley. I don't know. Something that they are, you know, that's in their ballpark. And they have a golden opportunity right now to have their cake and eat it too. To get their golden boy, Cody Rhodes, an opportunity at Roman Reigns to get him that one-on-one match. Or, you know, Roman can go one-on-one both nights, defend both belts. Or just triple threat. All the eggs in one basket. Bring up young Sami Zayn. Give him a shot, man. Why not? Come on.
I'm not mad at it. I'm telling you, bro, I'd rather see this over Cody Rhodes, you know, but actually, I don't know, man. I'm going to try and rewind myself a little bit because I think we are going to get upon that 1,000 days around that time. And all signs are leading to this eventually blowing over, you know, and maybe we get that triple threat, or maybe we get a double, like you were saying. One night Cody Rhodes defends one, other night he defends the other one against Sammy. Yep. So I think the time is coming. Like you said, Sammy has said it. His days as champion are numbered, and I think come WrestleMania that will happen. But Elimination Chamber, no.
Yeah, I agree. But that does do it for us here on the SmackDown review / Elimination Chamber predictions. So, anything else, Bud? Any shout-outs, plugs, anything like that before we sign off and let the listeners go enjoy the rest of their afternoon before they get into the Elimination Chamber?
Well, I mean, of course, go through normal stuff. You know, shout out to Patreon, Discord members, everything like that. Of course, any new listeners that have come along within, the year, I guess you could say. But shout out to you, man. Football function. I see you're trying to freaking expand in little ways, and it's just all pieces to the puzzle, I guess you could say. You know, you put together your little office thing down there. Eventually, all your little pieces together on this football function thing are going to come together, and it's going to be what you're looking for, you know. So, shout out to you, like I said. But other than that, man, I mean, of course, everybody, hope y'all enjoy the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. Hope y'all get to, get the feels for what's going on come WrestleMania Road, I guess you could say. But other than that, toss it back over to you.
Oh, yeah, I definitely want to thank all the listeners, as usual. You know, this is a nice little community here, and we're protective over it, man. That's why whenever jabronis come at us like that, we got to stand up for us in the community here. And,
I'm new here on this stuff.
And everybody, what's up?
I said, I'm new here on this stuff.
Yeah, and everybody that puts in work here, I take a lot of pride in what we got going on here, and, feel like we're forever indebted to keeping this train rolling here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But definitely go check out Double J's XFL breakdown on the Football Function podcast. Show him some love, give him some feedback. He definitely did a hell of a job, I will say, and it's only going to get better from here, so I'm looking forward to what's to come on the Football Function podcast, and obviously here on the SmackDown Review on the WWE podcast. So I hope you guys all have a damn good weekend. Enjoy the Elimination Chamber. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and I will talk to you soon. And, oh, yeah, guy who left a negative review, why don't you go practice falling down? We'll be there in a minute.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.